Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Six of Wands tonight, which has everything to do with victory. All right. Have some things on the side over there. Okay, well, look at this. Immediately, my goodness, look at this picture. First, let me say, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you want to throw a like out there or leave a comment, those are all so welcome and very helpful for the channel. Okay, so we have a person, look at this face right here. You can see the eyes and the mouth. Looks like maybe wearing like a large jacket or a dress that's kind of being blown in the wind. And right here, right in their arm, it looks like we have the moon. Now the moon looks like it has kind of a frown on its face. We have the eyes, the nose, the frown. Okay, let's look at this closer. Yeah, so I immediately am looking at this and I'm thinking it's kind of like, it makes me think of kind of like the stealer of dreams, right? Fantasies, visions, the creative mind, dreaming, daydreaming. I feel like it's just this energy of some kind of oppressive energy swooping in and just absolutely taking away this feeling for hope and any kind of aspiration for the future or your creative flow, the inspirations, the muse coming through and visiting you. This just kind of, it almost feels like a specter of some kind. Now, I wonder if this is something that is maybe some kind of stressful thing that had been going on in your life, some kind of big event. Something happening that kind of became destabilizing for you, a real shift in how your life was going, and just kind of this really draining feeling. Now we have the Six of Wands. So I feel like this is maybe something in the past. I feel like this is something that you're just really scratching and clawing, trying to get yourself through it and out of it. To not be so affected by this. I mean, it kind of is a sense of terror, not I don't think being actively afraid necessarily, but just this kind of wraith coming through your life, right? Something that it's like if you've ever seen Harry Potter, those Dementor things, something to that energy, right? Something that just feels like it comes in, it sucks all of the air out of the room. As you go through your tasks in your day, you're just like, I have no interest. I feel like I'm maybe on autopilot. I have maybe a weekend coming up and I have free time and I just want to go and sleep the whole time. Or numb myself in some way, disassociate. I don't want to be present in my own life right now, because it feels just, you know, in like this endless dredge. And so, you know, I mean, as a Virgo, I feel like we all know this feeling. Now, hopefully it doesn't come around too often, but when it does and it takes hold, it can be quite the void to find yourself in. Okay? But I feel like you have really, really done your all to kind of get out of this thing. And I can imagine climbing out one hand at a time, just trying to get yourself lifted up out of it. And, you know, I feel like this is a place where, and now we turn this way. Well, now I'm looking at this, and it maybe, you know, this is about there was somebody transitioned, passed away. We have a skull right here. You can see the eyes and the mouth and the skull. But I am looking at this and I'm thinking, oh, now we have a moth. Yeah, so we have this sense of, and the skull again on this side, turned upside down. We have a sense of being drawn to the light, right? We have this beautiful moth. You can see I always start going without my stick here. The head here, the antennae up here, and the wings, okay? And carrying with you this thing that you have gone through, the grief that you have been in, the despair and everything else. This is something that, you know, it never leaves us, does it? It's something that we carry with us. And if we're really lucky, we figure out a way to kind of learn to live with it the best we can. And I do feel like something about maybe your spirituality, your faith, this real, not just being drawn to the light, but being absolutely dead set on getting there. You know, if you know anything about moths, they don't stop, right? They will just sit there going after that light forever and ever and ever. And also a big reason I don't leave porch lights on because I feel so bad. It's very you know, distracting to their life cycle. They end up not doing the things that they need to do because they're drawn to the light. And so I feel there is a sense though, now I don't think you're being distracted. I think that you are going for this healing light, that beautiful transcendent light, that light that is, you know, beyond anything we comprehend, but we know it in other people when we see it, right? It just kind of pours out. And so I feel, yes, you are in your grace. You are in the search for this kind of deeper and deepening faith and honoring yourself, your goals, your aspirations, your dreams, and your path. Okay. So, you know, this is not easy work, but you are doing it. And of course, you know, as a Virgo, we just don't really give up on things. We might get a little bit sidetracked or, you know, off course a bit. And we might, you know, go way down the maze doing that, but we always find our way out. Right. And I say this as I'm a Virgo. I'm a solar Virgo. So, you know, I fully resonate with this as well. And so I'm looking over here in the other wing and I'm seeing that we have, now it almost kind of, well, we have the mammaries here. So we have this fertility symbol. We have the omega right here. So the omega is the symbol, the last symbol in, I was going to say Greek, Latin, the Latin alphabet. And is it, or is it the Greek? Oh, it must be Greek. Alpha and Omega. Yes, Greek. And yes, that's right. It's the last letter. And it is synonymous with the end, right? So closure on something going on here. I feel like at least seeking closure. Okay. But I do feel like with the mammaries, there is that sense of fertility, the mother's fertility, sustenance, nurturing. And so I feel returning to this very creative place that you have been looking for. This place of, again, being filled with life and an eagerness to find the things that mean something to you, to not spend so much time doing the things that are just tedious and soul-sucking. No more, right? At least not as much as there had been. Prioritizing, making lists, cutting out what just doesn't work for you. And that might feel like you've given up on some things or you're not meeting your responsibilities, but ultimately, stripped down to its very basic meaning, life is about living. Life is not about stacking it full of things we don't want to do. Now, of course, we're always going to have things that aren't our favorite. I don't want to clean the toilet, but I clean the toilet, right? I don't necessarily want to go to, I don't know, my daughter's whatever class for the millionth time, it feels like, on a Tuesday when I'm exhausted. But we do it. We do it because we love our people. We do it because we made a promise. We honor our word, and it's the right thing to do, right? But then there are things that we get involved in, routines, things we add to our routines that just absolutely don't need to happen, right? If it is not absolutely vital to the way that you are living, to the things that you are doing, and maybe you felt pressured into doing it, maybe it's something that somebody asked you to do, or you got involved in some way, whatever it is, put it down. Give yourself a gift. Don't be so busy. Allow yourself to have some time with free space, a free schedule, at least, an hour a day, 2 hours a day. And then see what happens. See what kind of really calls you. Maybe you take up a hobby. Maybe, you go to somewhere in the city you live in that you've never been. Maybe you start going to, a certain library to go, read or whatever it is. Go to walking in a certain park or whatever, and even these little things, these little adjustments, the novelty, maybe even finding something you're quite passionate about. This is what really refuels us. It keeps our life interesting and feeling like it is alive and moving and full and a sense of the ecstatic, kind of coming to the forefront. And yes. So I look at this and I feel like, Virgo, if anybody's going to understand this, a Virgo will understand this. And this is one of my main mantras in life. And it may be at first, it might sound confronting, right? But I feel like it is so important that we understand this on a deep level, that nobody is going to save us. Nobody is going to fix our lives for us. Nobody is going to live our life for us. We have to figure out how are we going to do that. And, you know, I'm not talking about, you know, some situations, right? There are some things where, yeah, you absolutely need the assistance of others. And I'm not saying that that is not true, right? We all need help in our lives. But ultimately, on the most fundamental level, we are responsible for the lives we live. We are the only ones that can save ourselves. Now, I know in the comments, sometimes when I say this, people say, you know, they're deity, they're Messiah. And I'm also not talking about that. I'm not talking about spiritually. I'm talking about how we live in our waking life. Okay? Nobody will save us from our life. So we have to take an active role. And now I know us Virgos, we get that. We absolutely do. And so, you know, I feel like you have had this time where, yeah, things maybe felt really big and out of your control. You didn't really necessarily know how to tackle the situation, begin to change, you know, things incrementally to get it going, or maybe it just, you were so drained of everything that you just didn't even care to begin. And I understand that. I mean, I absolutely, soul to soul, understand that. I also see, you know, you're a fighter. You're never just going to lay down and quit going, right? You needed a rest. You needed a pause. You needed time to gather your strengths, your vitality. And here we are, right? Standing strong, chin up, meeting the light of day, you know, proudly, not feeling any kind of shame or guilt for what you have gone through, right? It is part of your story, of course. But it isn't something to lament, okay? This is a time where you have to embrace the glory. This is what this is. It is glory. It is a glorious thing to be able to stand up after kind of being knocked down, right? And it shows the strength and your character and everything else that you are able to do, okay? And so, you know, I'm so happy to see this in a reading. I'm so happy to partake in this energy, you know. It is a blessing, and it also, you know, it reminds me that when things feel overwhelming, you know, we're not going to let it overtake us. Huh. Well, this is interesting. This one looks like we have, it looks like a native, like an indigenous person from North America, I should say. That sounded weird saying it that way, North America. And look, it says SEEC. Yeah, really interesting. And I'm glad to see this, you know, to me, it really resonates personally because, well, I am Choctaw. My family is, my paternal family is Native, indigenous. And somebody just blessed me talking about my ancestors in the comments today with a beautiful greeting and everything. So this to me really resonates. Now for all of us, I feel like this is a beautiful sign of, you know, just I think really being connected to that greater story that we are a part of. Okay, these lines of of family. Now, it doesn't have to just be blood related. These are our chosen people, right? And how those lines lead all the way back, and all of the elders and ancestors that absolutely fill our life, no matter, you know, what your background is, culture, ethnic group, whatever. It doesn't, this does not limit, you know, it's not just this. But it is a beautiful sign of being quite present in our daily life. And especially during this time where we can, I feel like, recognize more and more our connection to this greater movement. And it is a beautiful thing if you really can sit and think about what it took so many people before you, and what it took for them to survive, for you to be here, for you to be the miracle that you are, and for this to be your turn to carry you know, this legacy of survival, right? And you know, not to put any pressure on you, but it is a responsibility that, you know, hopefully we take on. And really, you know, this is my personal belief. You can, you know, take it or leave it, but really at the very core of things, it is that we live a good life, to honor those who did so much to get us to where we are here, right? Manifest conscious beings. And, you know, and that's it, to live, whatever that looks like. I'm not saying that to be a good life, it has to be part of any particular system, but for you, how you experience it, whatever that means, whatever your virtues are, your convictions, your beloved things, your passions, the eras of your life that are meaningful, embracing those things, and, you know, living in some kind of authentic truth of self. And, you know, I this is such a beautiful image. I mean, and it really, I mean, it touches me, like, at my heart, like, just so very much. And it does. I feel like it is kind of this sense of, like, open your eyes and see how special you are. Because you are so special. And it's easy to forget that. It is easy to not even consider or remember how many things have to align for you to even be alive right now. All of the many functions of your body, and all of the, you know, the cells and atoms and, you know, whatever that come together to compose you as a being. And you know, the just infinite variables of reality and the universe. I mean, truly, it is, you can't comprehend it, but it is, for you to be here in a body that is keeping your consciousness going is absolutely mind-blowing, you know. And so it is the universe, it is your line of people, it is your elders, your ancestors reminding you, letting you know, hey, you're doing a good job, you know. And so it is a beautiful thing. Okay, let's look. We have one more word here, it looks like. It says, it almost looks like it says S-A-T, like the SATs maybe, or SAT. And then we have an X. Okay, and then we're going to go take a look over here, but I'm going to take a sip of my drink. All right. Let's see. Now we have a person who is kind of reaching upward. like an R. Maybe a name that starts with an R. And I feel like there is a connection. Oh, and there's 311. I think I had that number last night too in one of my readings. 311. So I feel like we have a person here who, I almost wonder if they were really interested in the stars. If they were somebody who maybe like went out and looked at the sky often at night, maybe even had like a telescope, maybe they knew the constellations, the mythologies. Somebody who just was very in touch with this interest in their life. And I almost feel like, and I'm saying this in past tense because I think that they have kind of maybe transitioned. I also saw the name Joe, J-O, and a dog. And I almost wonder if they transitioned and they left their dog behind, right? Their dog is alive, or was alive, is alive. And I wonder, it seems like there's kind of this coming through there was an anxiety about leaving them. Maybe as they were going through their transition, they were worried about where the dog would go, or what would happen with this dog. But I feel like you made sure that the dog ended up somewhere safe. And this was something that really put them at ease. And this is like they want you to know that they recognize that you really, you helped them through this part, especially because I feel like it was just like a beloved companion, and so they were worried that, they wouldn't be taken care of, or they'd end up at the pound or something. But I think that you made sure. Now, maybe you took the dog in, or maybe you found it a home and it's, it went and it was thriving, or it is thriving. But this feels like, it's like, I know that you did this for me. I know that, you absolutely came through, and there's a thanks there. Okay, now let's take a look. We have the Wild, the Bohemian, affirmation cards, and these are the fire element. And I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to flip through. Okay. I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says, I am soulful. Where you walk, fragrant, where you walk, fragrant wild flowers will bloom. Trust your power to transform. There we go. Absolutely. And this is the whole, your power to transform. All right, Virgo, I'm going to go ahead and right off the top, you know what I'm going to say. I love you. I absolutely do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. You hit that little bell, it'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free. It is always free to do the subscribing. And we're almost at 40K. I just can't believe that. I think last time I looked, we're about 50 subscribers away. So I anticipate in the next day or two, we'll probably get there. And I have to thank all of you. I will do a better thanks, but definitely I just am so like humbled, and I can't believe that there's so many people here. And yeah, it just, I don't know. Every day I feel like, oh my goodness, this is such a blessing. Like, and I've met some amazing people through the channel, and gotten to know some of you through the comments, and you sharing your stories and your insights and everything else. And that's been like the best part of doing this channel. And so, and yeah, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. It takes me a while sometimes to get back or to heart them. That doesn't mean I don't read them. I do. And, you know, I want you to know that I appreciate you, and for you taking the time. I mean, you know, it is you sharing your time with me. And so, yeah, all right. Virgo, I love you. Take care of yourself, and we are going to talk in just a few days. Good night.